Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm back again with another story. Now, this isn't a hunting story, but you're still going to want to get your popcorn and all your snacks and get ready to kick back and listen to my story. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment, hit the little bell so you get all the stories and you're the first one to hear it. Go check out some of my other videos too. Thanks for everybody who has subscribed and the people who do leave comments and hit the like button. I really do appreciate it. Alright, so get all your stuff ready. We're coming back with a great story about chasing a bull down the highway. Alright, so I used to be a horseman. Back when I was about, I think 20, from about 21 to 23, something like that, I was a horseman. I worked for a rancher. And we'd go cut cows during calving season, go cut the calves from the mamas, and we'd go catch wild cows on people's farms, bulls especially. And we did this on horseback and with catch dogs. So everybody kind of had their own horse, and my horse, his name was Buck, and he was a rescue horse. He was a roping horse, and I think they might have done some barrel racing with him. So he's kind of a rodeo horse, but he was still real young. And he was a rescue horse. Somebody had been abusing him. But anyways, we got him. And my boss was like, okay, this is your horse. You can train him. You got to get him used to people again because he was real scared of people. I mean, he was in pretty bad shape when we got him. So, anyways, I worked with this horse for about a month or so, and finally I was able to get a saddle and bridle and everything on him. And it took so long because we had a lot of other horses to work with, right? I couldn't just spend all my time on that horse. That horse I spent time on when I had spare time, right? When I wasn't busy. So it took a little bit to get him around, but he finally come around, and this is right when I met my wife, so 27 years ago or so. Might have been a little bit more than 27, but anyways, we she loves horses, right? So I decided I'd take her out to the ranch and we'd ride horses one evening. Well, I got Buck, and he'd been letting me ride him, but I hadn't rode him a lot, and it nothing hard, nothing serious, not around other people or horses or anything, just me and him. So it's kind of a test for him. Me too, right? So, anyways, me and my wife and my boss's son, and I think my wife's cousin was there to hang out with my boss's son. I can't remember how that went. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But anyways, we all go horseback riding on the ranch and we're having pretty good time. It's starting to get dark. So we're heading back, and old Buck, he started acting kind of antsy when we started heading back towards that barn. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they'll do that. And he wanted to get back to that barn. He wanted to run back. Well, you can't let them run back because then they'll do it every time. They'll throw you to go back. You know what I mean? So horses are smart, and they will learn tricks. And anyways, so I'm trying to hold him back, keep him from running to the barn, and he doesn't like it. He starts rearing up on me, and he's starting to act ignorant. And I'm like, hold on. I'm trying to talk to him, calm him down. I'm patting him on his neck, trying to calm him down. He's not having it. He does not want to wait. So what I do was I reined him real hard away from the barn, and I made him turn his head. And usually we don't even have to do that with our horses. They pretty much just know what to do by talking to them. But this guy, he was still a little fresh to our program. So I reined him hard to the left, which turned him back towards the woods where we had come from. Man, he turned, and once he got turned and them reins got loose, he just took off running for the woods. Just full out running for the woods, right? He's going to lose me. He's going to run me into the woods, knock me off with a tree, because horses will do that. They're smart. So, once I realized what's up, which didn't take very long, I start reining him back. I'm like, hey, ho, ho, ho. I'm trying to pull him back. Well, he ain't stopping. But what he does do is he starts bucking. Well, I'm not ready for bucking. You know what I mean? We're running. I didn't think he was going to buck in a run. You know what I'm saying? Well, he bucked in a run. We're running. And he just kind of stops and starts bucking. Well, it throws me off. And I went off the back. When I knew I was coming off, I pushed off the saddle to come off the back. Because I figured he was just going to stop once I come off, right? No. So I push off the back, and I come back behind him, and he kicks. And he kicked me right in the chest and right in the forehead, knocked me out. Last thing I seen was his hoof hit me right in the forehead. I was like, oh. So I wake up, and I wake up, I'm thinking, man, now I gotta go get that horse, and it's dark, so I'm like freaking out, because I'm really not even there yet. I'm just awake, right? And I know I'm in the field, and the horse bucked me off and kicked me, and had a partial hoof print on my forehead and a full hoof print right on my chest. Oh, it sucked, man. It hurt. But what had happened was, old Buck, after he had bucked me off, and he didn't kick me on purpose. It was just all in the act of bucking. Once he realized I was off of him, he took off running towards the woods again, but then turned around and come back. And when I woke up, he was standing there bumping me with his nose, trying to get me up. Trying, he cared about me. So that was the last time me and Buck ever had a hard time. He listened every time after that, and I always paid attention to how he was feeling too when I was riding him. Okay, so not we didn't just catch cattle off of other farms and whatnot, ranches or whatever, but we also worked at the local sale barn inside the sale barn. So where all the cattle chutes are at and all the alleys where they separate all the cattle in the back of the sale barn, we rode horses in there to help them guys control these cattle and get them put in the right spot real fast, right? So basically, right in the middle of this area where they housed all these cattle during the day, we had our own corral where all of us horsemen sat in there, and there's only three of us, usually two, me and my boss's son, or sometimes my boss, right? So, but usually it was just me and his son. We all had our own specific horses that we rode in there. Now, my horse was Buck. My boss's son rode a horse named Spider. And then we had another horse named Tonto, but he's a little bitty sawed off, little bitty quarter horse, little bitty short horse. But there was areas in that sale barn it was good to be on that guy so you didn't get your top knot taken off. You know what I'm saying? So we worked the sale barn on these horses. Now Buck was the biggest out of the three. He was the tallest. He was the broadest. He was the most muscled. He was the biggest. And so he was hard, you know. He was hard to get into certain spots, but me and him, we had it going on, and he knew not to take my knees out on all them steel posts, you know what I mean? So one day we're sitting there, and I'm just sitting in the saddle, you know, and there's this bull in this pen right beside us, great big bull, well over 2,000 pounds. I mean, he was huge. And he keeps trying to climb up this cattle panel that's steel pipe, right? But it's like, I don't know, 7, 8 foot tall. I mean, it's made so no people or animals can climb in and out of this thing. But there's a opening at the top, right? So this cell barn had a catwalk that went over the cattle where people could go up above the cattle and walk around and look down on the cattle and look at them. So that's why this was all so tall, okay? Well, one of the things we used was lariats, ropes, right? Which we didn't use them too much in the cell barn. But what we did use in the cell barn was whips. We had all the horsemen had a bull whip and knew how to use their bull whip off their horse. Now, we didn't hit the cattle with the whip. A lot of people got to realize that. You don't hit the cattle with the whip because it will cut them open. It will hurt them bad. So, what you do with the whip is you use the whip as a director. You know what I mean? That's how you're going to steer this bull or this cow or this steer the steer. But what you do is, if you want it to go right, you snap the whip on its left side. It scares the cow, it turns right. Okay, vice versa. Same way, if it stops or wants to go slow, you just snap the whip right behind it. You don't touch it, just crack it right behind it. So you have to teach your horses to handle all this too, you know, get used to that whip snapping, and that whip will come by their face, man, within inches sometimes, you know what I mean? So you have to be in a lot of control of your whip too. So anyways, we had whip skills. So, which is important in this story. So this bull, he's trying to get out of this corral, and he's climbing up but falling down inside. But he can't get all the way up and over without falling backwards, right? Well, I'm trying to holler at these guys on the ground because I can't go in there with my horse or nothing, and I'm not supposed to get off my horse, so that's not my job, right? So I'm trying to holler at these guys that it is their job to get in there and shackle this bull or something, get it down somehow. Vet come over there and tranquilize it, something. Nobody's listening to me. There's so much stuff going on, and it's so loud that people can't hear me hollering, trying to get their attention. They're running and busy, and it sucks. So I just have to sit there and watch this bull. It climbs out, you guys. Long story short on the whole bull, it no bull, the bull climbed out up and over that thing, and when it went over the top of that panel, there was a real nice Lincoln sitting there, and it it come out head first, right, and kind of endoed and flipped over, bam, landed right on that Lincoln, smashed it. And I'm sitting there like, and I'm seeing this, you know, and so I'm like, come on, Buck. So now this bull is outside of the cell barn. It is in the parking lot. Now the parking lot is right beside a major 4-lane highway. Okay, so this is turning bad real fast. So the thing is, where we bring these horses in, there's all kinds of room. It's a big gate. We come in the back of the cell barn, right? Well, where I have to get out on Buck right now to get the fastest way out to the parking lot is to go through a little alley that was made for people or one cow to go through. Me and Buck barely fit through it. My knees were hitting the poles. Dink, dink, dink. You know what I mean? It hurt, yeah. But we wore chaps and all that crap. So it wasn't too bad. But yeah, they were bruised. But anyways, we're dink, dink, dinking through there, and Buck knows that there's a catwalk at the end of this alley that is only just over 5 foot high. When I walked on it, you have to duck like that. You know, I'm 5'10". So, might have been 5'6". You know, I don't know. It might have been 5'6" high. But you're definitely not, there's not enough room for a guy on a horse and a horse to go under this thing, right? I didn't think, anyways. So I know it's coming, and Buck, he's already on it. He knows we're going to the parking lot. I done sent him, and now we're going. He knows what's up. So I'm like, so I lay down in the saddle. I'm holding my knees in as tight as I can. I get my head down beside his neck, you know what I mean? So he's like this, and I'm up on him, and I'm kind of holding on to him around the neck because I'm laying over the horn now, and I wrap the reins around the horn. So I'm just laying on it, and I'm holding on. Boom, he goes under that. I don't know how it didn't wipe us out. But as soon as you go under the catwalk, it's a 90-degree turn like this. Now, I'm on a big horse, and it's not even wide enough for us to go through there. My knees are hitting every pole, okay? Every 4 foot, I'm going ding, ding, ding. Hit like 4 or 5 of them. So when he turns the corner, it's a big steel post on the corner. And it takes my inside knee, and I mean it. Oh, he knows it. He's trying to scoot to the right to keep it from snagging my leg, and there just ain't enough room. If he does that, he's putting my other leg in the other side. You know what I mean? So we squeeze through there. Man, it yanks my leg out a little bit. Didn't pull my groin, so we're good. You know, I'm like, just hit it pretty hard. So once we make that corner, though, it's like 3 or 4 foot. That's where the loading chute was. Okay, so we had to go through that too. Well, all these people by now know what's going on. So that's open. Everybody's out of the way. We cut the corner. We hit the parking lot. Now, by the time I get on the parking lot, this bull has already went out on the highway, and it's running down the highway. It was running. See, it would have been westbound. Okay. Now, where the cell barn is, there's an overpass about a quarter mile, maybe eighth a mile from the cell barn. Not real far, but not that close either, okay? Now, anybody knows anything about horses, you don't take a horse with regular metal shoes on the asphalt and start running because it's like ice for them, okay? It's slippery. Luckily, my horse had experience with this, right? We would ride them on the roads and stuff just so they could get used to it and have the feel for it. Now, we never ran them, but we would walk them on the road so they wouldn't be all sketchy if we ever had to cross the road, right? Okay, so my horse knows what he's doing. So I cut him loose. I'm like, let's get him, Buck. And I just got goosebumps. Anyways, I uh, I said, let's get him, Buck. Let's get him. So we take off, and I know what he's. You know, we're going all out. He's got a full run. He's fixing a. We're going straight into high gear. So I take the reins and I put them around the saddle. I hold on with one hand to the horn, and I kind of lean forward, and I get on his front shoulders, you know, so we can get fast. I grab my rope first. I grabbed my lariat first, and I'm not sure why I did that. I think I was in a field chasing a cow is what I went into automatically, and I get my rope out and I start swinging my rope, and I'm like, no, this I can't catch it on the highway. You know, there's cars coming. It's the middle of the day. I can't rope a big bull on 4-lane highway, right? So I take my rope real quick and I put it back and hook it up to my saddle. Now all this is full out. My horse is running full out. This bull has already made it past the overpass. By the time we get on it, it's that far ahead of us. I don't put my horse on the highway when we take off. He stays on the shoulder where the gravel's at, so I know he won't fall, right? So I reach back and I grab my whip, and I get my whip out and I throw my whip out in front of him. Now, these horses are trained. When they see that whip, they know we're not roping. They know we're cutting, okay? So when I throw that whip out in front of him, that gives him the signal so he knows it's whipping time. He knows it's time to start turning. It's time to start making the cattle turn, okay? Because that's why the whip's there. So I throw it out in front of him, just roll it out there, no snapping, just so he can see it. Then I pull it back. So as soon as he sees it, instead of us trying to run right in behind that bull, he starts cutting off to the left, and that's when he gets on the asphalt. And I'm like, ooh, sketch, right? But he knows what he's doing. So he takes me right up pretty close to the side of that bull, close enough to where I can do what I got to do now. So I roll the whip out, snap it. It snaps right out by the bull's head, out here somewhere. Bull cuts into the ditch, but we're way past the overpass. We're just about where we're at where all the off-ramp cars hit the highway now. So he cuts in there, and I'm afraid he's going to start going up the off-ramp, right? So I got to get buck turned, but we're on the asphalt. So I just hit him with the spur. I nudge him. Now, we wore spurs, but our horses were trained with spurs, and we didn't hurt our horses. Our spurs spun. They were not sharp, all blunted, no hurtage. Okay? They're directional tools to help you when your hands are full. Okay? My hands were full. So I nudged him with the spur. You just tap them. You just touch them with it. Just touch them. Like that. Just touch them. Well, they feel it. Because it's back by their flank. They're sensitive there, right? So he knows he's got to start cutting too. He's got to start turning. Because my hands are full. I don't even have the reins in them no more. I'm trying to get my whip around. I'm snapping this whip constantly. Right over my horse's head. Right past it, over it. Man, he was a good horse. Best horse I ever had in my life. But, anyway, we got cut. He turned. He didn't slip out on me because that's sketch, right? Could have killed me, and really, it would probably would have killed him too. But the bull has turned. It doesn't go up the off ramp, which is super cool, right? It goes ahead and stays in the grass, but it starts running right back to the cell barn, which is exactly what I wanted. So me and Buck, we get around, we get behind this bull. Now I put me and Buck between the bull and the highway, but we're not right up beside him because it'll make that bull stop and turn, right? So I'm just staying back a little bit off to his right. And I'm just cracking that whip right out in front of my horse, which is putting it towards the tail end of that bull. And by the way, I still have the whip. Look, it has been worn a lot, okay? I don't know how many times that cracker has been replaced. This has come undone. I don't know how many times. This is a horseman's whip, okay? Now, and it's a 10-foot whip, if you wanted to know. But, so that's how much space I got, though, right? 10 foot plus my arm out in front of my horse that I can make that sound, that firecracker sound that keeps that bull going. So we're not at a full run no more, though. We're just kind of at a gallop, I would say, right? And we get this bull up into the parking lot. Well, by now, everybody at the cell barn is watching what's going on. People have run out in the highway and started stopping traffic. You know, they're making it as safe as possible for the scenario that's at hand, you know, and everybody, it worked out real good. But these farmers had all took their farm trucks, their flatbeds, 1-ton trucks, and made a round corral in this parking lot and left one space open, right, where one truck, and that truck was sitting over here ready to block that spot as soon as that bull got pushed in there, drove in there. So me and Buck, I seen that because I'm paying attention to what's going on in front of me, right? So I seen the corral they're building, they're pulling these trucks up. I'm seeing all this on the way there, watching this bull, making sure there ain't no cars coming. Buck's in the gravel, the bull's in the grass. Everybody's moving forward. They get the corral made. So now me and Buck got to cut a little bit to the right to get this bull to turn left and go towards the corral. So I nudge him with the spur. He cuts a little to the right. When he cuts to the right, the bull kind of slows down, and it's like he knows, right? Like the bull knows to turn. I didn't have to pop my whip or nothing. It just all kind of happened, right? So the bull turns. I get Buck back in on the bull's flank. But now I'm right behind the bull. I'm not on its flank. I'm right behind the bull. And we're just kind of walking now because this bull has slowed down. It's tired too. So it starts heading for the gap. And I just give it one more crack like that, and old bull kind of picks it up, goes in the homemade truck circle. Old boy in the truck waiting, he says, brr, pulls up, blocks him in. I get off Buck, me and him go over, and we get a drink of water, you know, because I'm pretty freaked out, and I know he's freaked out. He was breathing heavy, he was all sweaty, and he was like, you know what I mean? He's jacked, man. So we go over, and I take him to the water trough, and I splash my face, and I water him down a little bit, and he drinks some water, and one of the workers there brings me a bottle of water, and I slam it down real quick. Anyways, me and Buck, we got us about a 30-minute break after that. But it was pretty cool. Everybody's like, man, that was cool. That was cool how you did that. And everyone was impressed. Every single person was impressed except my boss. That gnat, man. I brought some hickory nuts in here for make some squirrel bait for my trap. And I think there might have been some gnats on it when I brought it in. Somehow, there's always one little freaking bug following me around trying to bug me. So my boss was mad. He's like, if my horse would have fell and you would have fell on that asphalt, you guys could have been killed. And he was mad. He was, you know, but it was one of them situations where somebody had to do it, right? And I was the fastest, easiest, I thought, smartest way to do it, really. I mean, I'm right there. I'm on a horse that knows how to do this. It's trained to do this, does it every day. That's its job, right? Is to cut cattle, rope cattle, chase cattle. So I was like, I'm on it. It was the asphalt and the vehicles, right? It is dangerous. It was dangerous. I don't recommend anybody ever running a horse down a highway. Ever. Don't never run a horse on asphalt or concrete. Never. Just don't do it. I mean, it's dangerous on gravel. You know what I mean? Just they have special shoes for that. If you're gonna do it, put the proper shoes on your horse because they do make shoes that have little rubber traction things in them. That's what they're for. They're made for asphalt and concrete for horses like that go into parades and whatnot. They put them kind of shoes on them, right? They're safe, and sometimes they still slip. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it's dangerous. But yeah, that was back in the days when I was cowboying all the time, and it was a good time. I hope that it put a smile on your face and made you quit thinking about whatever might have been bringing you down. All right, no matter what's going on, somebody cares about you and loves you. I promise this from the bottom of my heart to the top of my heart, all of my heart. Somebody cares about you and loves you. I care about everybody. And as a Christian, I love everybody. So don't never feel like you're by yourself. There's always somebody out there that will listen to you and wants to listen to you because they care about you or they love you. So call your family, call a friend, call 988. I can't stress that enough, you guys, because it's hard to talk to your family sometimes, right? And it's hard to talk to your friend because you got an ego or, you know, you're too proud. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Everybody can be however they want, but it doesn't mean you have to suffer, okay, because of your decision on who you want to talk to. So you can call a stranger. They don't know you from nowhere. They don't care where you're from. They just want to help you. They just want to listen to you and get you on the right path to getting the help that you need, okay? So squatch that stuff that's bugging you. Just squatch it. Don't sweat it. It ain't no big deal. Keep on keeping on. Don't never give up. Okay? Peace.